We're heading to the AFC. Patriots Chiefs.
I already started.
In Arrowhead.
Overtime again.
Both conference championship games go to OT. This one we've got the young gun, Patrick Mahomes, the Mahomes Run Derby, trying to lead the Chiefs over Tommy B.
Who they say might get a $200 million contract.
I did see that.
Tommy B.
No,
No.
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, okay.
Once he gets off his
might get
rookie
the first
deal.
NFL $200 million contract. Anyways, Pats win 37-31.
31.
Get the ball in overtime first, go down the field, score a touchdown.
I think everybody knew what was going to happen as soon as the Patriots got the ball. You put it in Tom Brady's hands in OT. Dub.
Did we
That's
feel
where he
this?
makes his money.
Did we feel that way regardless who got the ball though? Because I kind of did.
Whoever got it would have won.
Yeah. The Chiefs were rolling later in the second half of that game.
Yeah, they started. The Chiefs' offense definitely started to get some momentum rolling.
When it went in overtime, I was watching with my dad, and I looked at him, I was like, whoever wins this coin toss is going to win the game. You can turn it off. And that's what happened.
Yeah, I don't think that's too far-fetched of an idea because, the Chiefs were moving the ball. So before we get into the kind of spectacle of events that ended that game, recapping the whole game, this one kind of started a little similar to the NFC game in that the Patriots jumped out early, and it looked like it might get ugly and it might be a runaway. And then the Chiefs started to get going. I think Mahomes had some nerves coming into the game. I think the first few drives he was definitely a little nervous. Obviously, it's the biggest stage he's played on in his career so far.
Well, the Chiefs had 32 yards at the half.
Yeah,
14-0. They only had 30 yards at the half.
Well, the Patriots started the game with a 9-minute drive, just dinking and diming all the way down the field, and then they score a touchdown. It's like, oh God, way to take the wind out of the sails. And credit to the Chiefs, they fought back and they turned this one into, just an all-out brawl, for the victory. And it's hard to pick against the Patriots, which when we did the first episode ever of this podcast, we did our preseason Super Bowl picks and all that shit, and I picked the Patriots strictly because as soon as they get into the playoffs, it's so difficult to beat that experience.
Ooh, I need to go back because I know I chose the Rams. I think I might have picked the Patriots. I know I picked Patriots. Steelers.
I think you picked the Steelers.
It might have been.
I think you picked the Steelers. But I know I picked the Patriots.
At least you didn't pick two teams that didn't make the playoffs like I did.
It's true.
I had Vikings Steelers. I don't think either of them made the playoffs.
Nope, neither did.
Anyway.
Wow. I think you said cunts.
Wow.
I did it, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like you said.
This one escalated quickly. But
So
we get to the fourth quarter. Was it the fourth quarter? I think it was the fourth quarter when the punt, the first kind of
yes, it was a
step into the controversial, we'll call it, for this game was the punt that Edelman played very poorly and nearly had him hit. And the ball nearly hit Edelman, which caused a lot of controversy because obviously the Chiefs thought that it hit him and then they picked him.
Yeah.
Granted, the touchdown wouldn't have counted regardless, but at the very least, the Chiefs get the ball in their own 30 or at the New England.
Would have counted.
No, I think the rule is you can't advance the ball.
Because they called it dead.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
And like we were saying, you can challenge that they got it, but the following run wouldn't have counted.
The touchdown wouldn't have counted. But at the very least, they did get the ball in excellent field position.
Yeah.
And, so we had to go to the booth, all the slow motion, every angle replay you can imagine. This is one where we were debating it for a while amongst the three of us. Ben was like, it hit him. Me and Bill were like, no, it didn't. And then we had to show Ben there's a side view.
I missed a good chunk of that game because I was rewinding just to take those damn pictures.
I'd only seen that side view from the original angle, way
far
up
away.
top,
Yeah.
where they show the whole field. So I didn't see it bounce between his hands. On the other one, I was confusing what I thought was his thumb for, I think it was the strap on his glove that was hanging off, which technically any article of clothing that's on you is still you also. So if it would have touched that, he wouldn't have felt it touch him, and it still could have touched because he had the strap on the glove on one of the pictures. It's the one that's straight on, coming this way, and he has the strap of the glove that's off to the side.
Regardless, it doesn't touch Edelman. The key here is it didn't touch him. It was that close. It was centimeters away from touching him and changing the whole landscape of that game. But after a lengthy review, they show it does not touch him. So that's kind of the first one.
Yeah, so it was inconsequential, but like I was telling you two, That is a bad catch anyway. Don't put yourself in that position. Just
Right.
move.
Well, I
You
agree.
waved everybody off. Move yourself.
If anything, I think that one was, well, of all the controversies we're talking, that one's probably the most clear. And I think that's why people are kind of over talking about it, because everyone's just in agreement that it didn't touch him. Also, what ensued 2 plays later is also what kind of negated the importance of the call.
The pick.
Which was when Brady tried to throw it to Edelman, went right off his hands, and then it would throw for an interception. So it pretty much negated because 2 plays, I guess you could factor in the time that came off the clock. But other than that, the Chiefs essentially got the ball near where they would have gotten it anyways, had him up the play.
Yep. And then, so I think it's a separate drive, a few drives later.
It was the very next one, to be honest, because that was towards the game.
Which one are you talking about?
You're talking about the forward offsides one now.
Well, so it's all on that same drive.
Well,
this
is
the
god awful
roughing the passer call. That is. So this was the only call in the game that I disagreed with.
It was the second to last drive in regular time where we were talking about how they needed to let the Patriots score. It was that drive.
Oh, you know what?
Drive.
So there was a controversial play before that for the Chiefs. It ended up not mattering because they threw a touchdown on the next play. But it was a Sammy Watkins original catch that they ruled, and then they ruled it incomplete because he didn't have the ball, which I thought was correct. They got that one right, but then the Chiefs scored a touchdown right after that, so it didn't matter. And then we go to the next drive where the Patriots get it, and Hogan has a catch that gets put under review, that gets called a catch, which I agreed with, because I think that one was a catch.
They then called it incomplete.
But then we get the roughing the passer call, which was absolute horseshit, because I think they called contact to the head, was why they called the roughing the passer call.
Yeah.
The replays clearly show he did not touch Tom Brady's head at all.
Shoulder.
Yeah, and he hits him on his chest, but they call it, which is total horseshit.
That's the Tom call.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I think that was definitely protect Tom.
Granted, the quarterback you just say a bad word to them and you're getting a flag these days, but
pretty much.
Tom's been getting a lot of those calls.
But the big thing is it's an automatic first and it keeps the drive alive on that type of call. And then ultimately, the killer, the absolute gut punch to the Chiefs, Brady throws a pick, but D Ford is offside. He lines up offside to give the Patriots a free play, so they negate the pick. Patriots get the ball back and end up scoring.
And he had no, aside from the penalty, he had no impact on that play. It would have been an interception.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like he hit him or something in that interception.
Yeah, they threw the ball to the opposite side of the field. It was a quick throw. D Ford had no impact on that play at all, and he lines up offside. And, at first I was like, was he really? And then they showed the replay. He was clearly offside. And so it was just like, oh, man.
His whole hand was on the other side of the line.
Yeah, it was bad.
But then you know what they didn't, on the replay, they didn't even show, his forearm down. His elbow was already over the line.
Yeah.
It was just but then, so the Patriots go down there, and then I think they're first goal, the 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when we started talking, if the Chiefs want to have any chance, they need to let them score.
And they did.
Yep.
And they did.
Burkhead scores the very next play.
I don't think it was by design. Yeah, I think the Patriots just scored, which worked out well. Because I think if Burkhead was smart, we saw this. It was one of the years I think maybe the Giants played the Patriots. Where was the Super Bowl where someone tried to not score and they stopped at the one and then they just fell in because they didn't want to give him a second chance? You remember what game I'm talking about in the Super Bowl?
I don't remember.
There was one in the Super Bowl where someone they're like, oh, you should stop at the one. He stopped and then he ended up falling in. And I think I want to say it was one of the Giants games, but that was one where if the Chiefs do not let him score right there, the Patriots win in regular time.
I agree.
Because the Chiefs needed every second that they got to go down and tie the game. And we talked about before it even happened, they need to let them score if they have any chance. Because the Patriots at that point, they're going to score.
Oh yeah. I
know that Brady had thrown a pick in the red zone, on the goal line already, but more than likely, knowing Brady and Belichick, they were,
well, both offenses were rolling at that time. Both of them were moving the ball with pretty much, no contest at all on the ground and through the air. They were both just.
I've always felt
it down.
That when they get there, you should just let them score. Now, granted, there are certain teams where you should not do that. For example, the 2000 Ravens that won the Super Bowl, probably should not let them score because the chances of your defense side with them is better than Trent Dilfer leading you down the field to score.
Right.
The Chiefs, where your defense is dump, and now in a very offensive league, it's almost always going to be better to just let them score. I mean, think of all the teams that were there. The Rams, it would have been smarter for them to let them score to get their offense back on the field the way Goff was playing. Saints, same thing with Breeze. Both those teams, Brady and Mahomes. If it was reversed, the Patriots should let Mahomes score so Brady can get the ball back. Mm-hmm. And that's just, and a lot of teams still don't do it, and maybe that's just a progressive idea. But I don't think the Chiefs were trying to let them score, but they obviously ended up losing. But they got lucky that he did score to even have a chance.
Yeah. Well, then the Chiefs come down and tie it up, send it to overtime.
Mahomes made some great throws on that drive, too.
He did. He showed a lot of composure. And this is kind of the Patriots win an OT. Patriots win the toss. Tom Brady marches them right down the field. They end up running it in. I think what the outcry is about, and this is a question that we're posing.
On the overtime drive, though, in Brady's defense, because I'm not the biggest Brady fan. That'll be known here shortly, but he did make 3 huge third and long conversions.
Absolutely.
I think they were all like 3rd and 10 or
3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. Yeah.
2 to Edelman, 1 to Gronk.
Yep. Gronk came up huge with those couple of one-on-ones he had with Eric Berry.
By the way, can we have Tony Romo announce just like every game because he
was a money man.
He's literally incredible.
Absolute money man.
He is like.
I didn't like you as a player because you just choked balls for Dallas, but as an analyst and commentator, you are excellent.
Coordinator.
Yeah, he is.
Because you just know what the team's fucking gonna run. You just know they're just.
All the audibles they were doing, he's like, oh, they did this. Yep, he's gonna do that now. Bam,
you just do kill. That's what we mean. Run to the right. Just kill the normal run to the right immediately.
Yeah, that was crazy. He did excellent.